Philadelphia police investigated an alleged rape that took place outside the Lincoln Financial Field during Sunday's Eagles game. And I'm going to make it short. This woman went to the game with a group of people on a bus, and she left the stadium during the game to return to the bus. The woman said she said a man wearing a yellow shirt that said staff on it. So
what a creepy.
Isn't that awful? Came to help her find the bus, because she couldn't find it. And then according to the police, the man walked her to the bus, he left, and he returned a few minutes later and raped her.
On the bus?
I guess so. And so I guess this has a couple of elements. One, just because the guy has the staff
Yellow
on
shirt.
it, that's awful, because didn't you say Ted Bundy used to do things?
What people do is they figure out, there are little things that give you status. For instance, this is something I know that they used to do at spring break. Guys would take a video camera, stick an MTV sticker on it, hey,
Really?
we're with MTV. And then they try and go talk to hot girls and, see what they could pull off. And it was that simple of getting a camera, MTV sticker. Mm-hmm. And the same thing with the yellow shirt. I have the yellow shirt that says security. How hard is it to get a yellow shirt? But somebody with a devious mind said, if all I have is a yellow shirt.
That says
Right,
staff
it's
on
trust.
it.
You trust them.
It's trust.
It's trust.
You give them their trust.
But I mean, what are you supposed to do? Go around and say, if the guy goes, I'm security. No, you're not. Let me see your badge.
Oh, I know.
What are you supposed to...
It's tough, but that's what Ted Bundy used to do, is he used to put his arm in a sling.
Yeah.
And would say, I can't get
lift this. Would you come over to my van and help me lift this?
And
Next
so
thing you know, you're in the van.
Well, I wouldn't fall for that one.
But some women did, though.
But they did for years, because he looks, he's in a sling, he's helpless.
Mm-hmm. And even the story you just told us about your mom, too. I mean, she kind of, I guess, like you said, she learned a good lesson because she trusted this guy.
How do you know?
This is what we talk about all the time. Do you walk around in life not trusting anyone, being freaked all the time? Or do you... That's the balance.
Well, I think that's what we talk about on the show, is to use judgment, and to try to use judgment. And if somebody appears to be strange, chances are they are. If they appear to want something from you, chances are they do. And to not second-guess that sixth sense that you have, that intuition that you have, regardless. Because sometimes if something seems kind of funny, but you don't know.
He's got a security shirt on, but he's kind of weird.
Right.
Yeah, or, why is this person spending, too much attention, putting too much attention towards me? I don't understand why. It's making me uncomfortable. If you feel uncomfortable, chances are that's your sixth sense telling you there is something wrong in the situation, even though you don't want to think that of the other person.
Well, this is kind of a point, like, as our identifying markings get smaller. Like, in the old days, a cop had a hat. He had all these things that said, I'm a cop. And then as they keep scaling it down, some cops just have a shirt that says police and shorts, like if you're in Santa Monica and they're on a bike. How hard is it to get a shirt that says police and shorts? Whereas in the old times, when you were someone in authority, you had a much more elaborate costume that let people, like, you really had to go a long way to imitate a cop. Whereas with the security shirt, yellow shirt security, you're in.
Right, you just never know.
It takes a lot of effort to become a rapist, I guess.
I know.
Jesus.
But even like small things, so like you said, if you know personally, your mom plus 3 other women that have been in a situation where somebody's tried something weird, you got to.
Then you pay attention.
It's kind of
which is kind of one of my laws is if you read about it in the newspaper, the newspaper is all of the worst horrors of the world congealed into one thing. Mm-hmm. But if you know 3 people in your life, then you start to go, maybe like motorcycle helmets for me. I know people who've been in motorcycle helmets, so I'm like, you probably better wear a motorcycle helmet.
Oh, been in motorcycle accidents?
But I am not that big a deal on bikes. I've never known anyone who had a bike accident, so I'm always like, come on, do I have to wear a helmet all the time on a bicycle?
Right.
If I'm in a urban area, yes, but I don't know. I just think that we bring all these troubles and we read all these things on the internet and the radio, and we get ourselves so worked up and freaked out. I always think that the really good rule of thumb is, do you know anybody personally?
Right. But, I think it's kind of across the board. I mean, we are in a large city. We're in Los Angeles, and we're in a, big, like, club environment or whatever. But I'll bet you in the smaller cities across the country, they still have problems like this. It is kind of across the board.
You just have to be really careful. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I'm really careful about not so much like walking down this, like, I'm open to people, but like construction workers, if someone's doing something on your house, fixing something, I'm just really cautious about that more of that stuff, because it's your inside, your personal place. So it's like
exactly
mailman, people like this. I'm
wasn't the famous
about.
the sex tape of Tommy and Lee was like a construction worker stole that sex tape of Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson.
I didn't even know that.
I'm pretty sure it was a
I'm
construction
not worried
worker.
about that, but I'm worried about, if they're
No, I'm not
knowing
saying that sex I was not saying that. I'm just saying it was something personal.
I'm worried about that.
No, but it's like they're knowing,
knowing
where you live,
Yeah.
And they're
what car you drive, who you hang out
I'm more
with.
worried about that than getting roofied at the club, because I don't let my drink go anywhere, and
Right.
I get my own drink. And even a friend, it would bring me a drink, and I would say, someone would say, here's a drink, and I would say, I'm sorry, I can't drink this. It's nothing to do with you. It's me being crazy. I have to get my own.
I'm going to grab this call here. We got another call coming in. Let's hold on here. Hello, caller. You are on the air with Candace, Keita, and Christa Campbell. Hello.
Hi. I have a question. I was just wondering, because I always go to the Dodger games all summer long with my girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering what kind of safety tips you would have for us.
Bring your own mustard, first off. They only have yellow mustard. They don't have brown mustard there. Bring stadium mustard from Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, no.
Like I do.
No, I think that it's important if you go with, are you going with a bunch of girls?
Right, a bunch of girlfriends.
Yeah, then I would say, stick together. There's safety in numbers. It's always important to do that, especially with girls and no guys. And to not go to the restroom by yourself. Go
Carry mace.
Yeah, carry mace, or go
mace.
go to the restroom with somebody. And then also in the parking lot, because I've been to Dodger Stadium several times. The parking lot is huge out there, and I think it's really important to
going to the parking lot. Especially if it's dark
after the game.
After the game, that's where you have to be careful. Men following you home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And especially if the game gets out and it's dark, it's late at night, you have a doubleheader or whatever, to remember where you are at. I always say to use
mnemonics.
Mnemonics to remember.
Right.
If it's like, if you're an A4 and you forget that, put apples for you. So you'll remember where you're parked, or write it down somewhere. So when you get out, 4 or 5 hours later, you're like, oh my gosh, where did we park? Does anybody remember? I think it's over there. Yeah, it's really important to do that. And then to also, it's a very simple thing, but just so you don't fumble, to always, when you leave, have your keys in your car, in your hand.
Yeah,
and don't fumble.
always.
Yeah, don't fumble in your purse. And always have the key on the keychain that you want in your hand, separated out. So as soon as you get to that car, you can open it up, get in, and shut the lock it. Then do whatever you want. Don't sit there and dawdle outside your car trying to find your keys in the dark at Dodger Stadium at 11 o'clock at night. Just women.
Okay.
I think that's dangerous.
Of course, it makes sense. Sure.
Yeah, so just use common sense and go out
Try
there
to
and have
park
a good
in a
time.
lighted area, right? Like when you pull up, notice and see if there's any lights.
Carry Billy
Yeah.
Club in your car.
No, but yeah, exactly. If you can park closer to the stadium, of course, that's the better, rather than way out in the boonies. And also, if you can park closer to a light, that would be good as well.
Right.
Fair enough?
Okay. Great.
And let's hope Andy Ramirez sticks around for the Dodgers so you have something to go watch this year.
Thank
Sport
you.
talk. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
guys
Thank
don't
you so
care.
much for calling.